going on? What's up? What's up?
What up?
What's going on with you?
Chilling.
We
What's
are,
good?
I believe we are live and direct. Live and direct. Live and direct. Live and direct. Boyaka, boyaka. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. You have just tuned in to the next, or not, I'm already messing up. Blah, 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 blah. You have tuned into another edition of your Unpopular Celebrities podcast with myself, Philly DC, my co-host Pete as well. We are Unpopular Celebrities. I'd be remiss not to mention Jessica Player and also Del Brown, who's out taking care of their business in all different types of places. Make sure if this is your first time listening, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also, join us on our YouTube page. And then if you feel so apt, feel free to donate to your boys. If you would like to, please send us a shout out. We can find ways to get you to be able to do that. And we welcome you to today's show. Thoughts, comments.
No thoughts, no comments right now. I like the thing in your background. Your thing keeps ticking. Is that the games for today?
Yeah, that's the upcoming games.
Does it update the scores?
Yep, update the
Oh, that's
scores
cool.
automatically. Yep,
That's cool.
throughout the day. Yeah, it
That's
comes in
pretty cool.
handy. Mm-hmm.
It comes in handy, huh?
Yeah, man. So that way I can just turn around and look at it. If I'm asleep, taking a nap, like most old people do, I just look up at the scoreboard. I got a handy dandy another ticker. It's a little bit more fancy over there, but this is pretty simple. So I like it.
Outrageous. Out
Mm-hmm.
of control. How's your week been?
It's been good, busy. Um, Wife was home for half the week, but then she got called back to work. If some of you guys didn't know, my lovely bride is a government service worker. She was impacted by the government shutdown. And so she's been out of the office for about roughly 2.5, 3 weeks. But they decided to bring a couple of people back to add a little bit more manpower to the place where she works at. Because even though there's a government shutdown, folks still got to get service. So she was one of the, I guess, if you want to say, fortunate ones that were called back. Now, that doesn't mean she's going to get paid unless something changes. But she has now been added to mission critical. So that
Oh,
means
well, that's
she's
good.
going to work. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, Somebody just hit me up said you sound really low.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Like your mic volume's really low and mine's loud.
Yours is loud. How's that? Uh oh.
I can't hear you enough.
You still can't hear me?
Hold on. Nah, I can hear you. Hold on.
Now. Test, 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 test.
You sound the same.
I sound the same.
I sound really loud. I can lower my stuff down a little bit.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, well, I hear you really loud, but they said on the YouTube.
Interesting.
Uh,
Okay. Well, yo, if you on YouTube, drop me a note in the comments that y'all listening. Put down like, yo, your mic is
okay, that's
trash or whatever. Now, full transparency, this is a short mic, so it's good. What's up, Rodney Dunn? Welcome to the show, man. Glad you stopping by, man. Much appreciated. Let us know how we sound on this joint. Full transparency, we're using a new program. I decided to start engineering on my end, so let me know how I sound on this end. Still going through a bunch of kinks, but we appreciate you. Okay, so without
good.
further
It's
ado,
okay.
as we go through the show, if you've noticed some any audio issues or whatever, please let us know. Just drop us a note, and then we'll work on them on our end. So, a couple of things I would like to talk about today. So today is November 2nd, and if you haven't been following Rodney Dunn, I can hear you. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, brother. Hey, so a couple of things. You know, it's 2 November. All over the news, unless you've been under a rock, there was a bunch of thrash going back and forth in media about potential SNAP benefits being cut. It's going to impact millions of Americans who depend on SNAP benefits, and then They went to a federal judge. The federal judge decided that the administration would have to provide said SNAP benefits using emergency funds.
Mhm.
And so they have not done that yet, meaning the administration, because they're trying to find ways to see if they can actually do it or not. So let me give you my take. Interested to hear yours. So throughout this whole ordeal, I've seen so many comments. It's funny in this specific time where you have so many different things going on in the government that is impacting millions of Americans. I find you have a different case of the have and have nots. You have the haves that criticize the have nots. So in other words, you'll have folks that'll say, what's the big deal? Instead of you needing SNAP benefits, this is a great chance for you to get out and work. Why continue to cost taxpayers money to support you and your family? Nobody told you to have 5 or 6 kids. Why can't you get out and work like I did and pull yourself up
Yeah.
by the bootstraps? I'll pause there. I thought you was commenting.
Oh no, no, no. I'm listening to what you're saying. And I'm just like, damn, okay.
Like it's popping. Okay. And then not only that, you have on the other side the have-nots are saying, "How dare the haves criticize us for not working? They don't understand that I have all these responsibilities. They don't understand what it's like to be me. Easy for them to throw rocks at a glass house. I need these benefits. That's what they're there for. Give me my benefits." So here's my personal take. I can see both sides of the issue. I do agree there may be, just like shaving waivers, I'll throw that in there. There are some people abusing it, some people are not. But what I don't agree with is those folks that need it shouldn't have to suffer because the government cannot come to a consensus on what to do with health care. Depending, not only depending, but government workers, SNAP benefits, dang near FEMA, FBI, you name it, all impacted by this. That should not happen. I'll pause there.
Why you say it shouldn't happen?
Well, it I'm dumbfounded that for years, I don't know about you, but for years, I have seen that we get around this point at the end of the year and we have to go through this government shutdown. Every single year. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Why is it that every year we have to go through this and then it's based on politics? Now don't get me wrong. These folks up at the Hill, in their eyes and minds, they're thinking they're fighting for the American people. But why should a government shutdown, because two parties can't agree, affect everyday Americans? Because I tell you, why you're not getting paid, and I'm pointing at you, federal workers, military, we dodged a bullet again. Hopefully we'll dodge another bullet in the next 15 days. And then your folks who may not get SNAP benefits or some or all, it impacts you. But it don't impact the folks on the Hill. I think that's a crying shame.
Hmm. Um, how can I word this properly? Um, I can see both sides, right? With the SNAP benefits. Yeah, I'm sure they benefit a lot of people. And I don't have SNAP, never had SNAP, so I don't know how it works too much. But I'm sure it benefits them and helps them out. I know when I check out at the grocery store, it says SNAP benefits and they get like a discount on groceries, a pretty significant discount on groceries. So I know I see that. Um, but if they want to cut SNAP benefits, they want to cut SNAP benefits. I mean, like I think, like you said it good. The have and have nots, right? I can't walk in their shoes, and I'm not going to pretend to walk in their shoes. But if they take it away, they take it away. You got to figure out a way to move around it to do something else. And the only thing I'll agree with. It does suck. How long have they been talking about cutting SNAP benefits? Has it been like a month, a week?
No, which makes it even more interesting. But before I get to that point, we got a comment from Charles Davis. What's up, Charles? Hey, pour out a little bit for the Washington Commanders. But anyway, besides that, Charles Davis says, "Why should it not happen?" So when you say that, Charles, you mean why shouldn't the government shutdown happen? Why shouldn't the loss of staff benefits happen? Which one are you talking about, brother? I kind of contradicted myself. I'll put in the comments. Great point. My bad. But so what was your question? I'm sorry.
How long have they known that Snap might be cut? Has it been like a week, a month?
They've started, as far as I remember, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, they've been advertising this, at least in the social media, for the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because they knew that the funds were going to run out. And so my personal opinion, I think they was like, look, since we still can't get a CR sign, we're not going to extend the SNAP benefits. It's almost like additional pressure to stop one party or prevent or have a one party go to the line or go negotiate. That's what it seems like to me. Because
Sure.
every point, like this is the longest shutdown we've had. But do you ever remember one that was close to this? Because there have been some that went past 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't ever recall SNAP benefits being impacted.
I didn't know how long Snap benefits has been a thing. So has, was it called something else and they changed it to Snap before? Was it just welfare or something before?
Charles Davis says, I was reversing the question Pete asked, that was all. Gotcha, Charles. Appreciate it, brother. I believe SNAP benefits is another form of like food stamps.
So I'm reading this in Newsweek, and it says, according to 42 million Americans, about 1 in 8 rely on food stamps each month.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 in 8 is pretty significant. I didn't know the number was that high. That's pretty significant. I don't know what that means. Rely on? Is it because they don't want to work? Is it because they can't work? Is it because it's cheaper to rely on SNAP benefits, not work, and stay at home to take care of their kids? Because I'm guessing those are the people who get it, the people that have kids. But I also agree that every American, if able to, should work. If able to. If you're not 100% disabled, if you don't have any mental issues, then yeah, you should be working. And to the have and have nots point, and I'm not saying that this is right or wrong, when somebody says, hey, you shouldn't have 5 kids if you can't take care of them, I don't know what's wrong with saying that.
I don't think it's something wrong, but I think it's like one of those things where you can say it, but should you say it? And how does it help the current situation?
It helps because it lets you know that, hey, I have a deficit that I'm in. I'm relying on a benefit because that's all it is a benefit to help me out. If the benefit goes away, it's like, what do I do now? Oh my God. Well, stop relying on benefits. Like, it's no different than any other benefit that we have. A benefit is just a plus, an add on to what you already have. It's not supposed to take care of you. It's almost like when people say BAH is too low. Well, BAH is just a supplement. It's not supposed to pay for a 3-bedroom mansion. It's just supposed to help supplement how much you get. So if you can't stay in an apartment, or if you have to move to an apartment, or you have to move in with somebody until your funds gets up, that's what you have to do. Stop looking at it as same thing with this is looking at it as, oh, this is my lifeline. I'm echoing really bad on your end.
On my end?
Yeah, it's like you have the stream up and you don't have it muted.
Okay, I'll check it. Charles Davis says SNAP is for low income. So those people do work. Just because you can say it does not mean you should. I agree. Great point.
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't think there's any way that, just because you should say, well, how else do you fix it? I guess, do you believe that the money that is spent on SNAP is worth it? What my kind of question to Charles Davis and whoever else wants to answer. Do you really believe the money that we use for SNAP is worth it.
Hmm. I think so, personally. I mean, I think to Charles Davis' point, there are some people who depend on SNAP because they're disabled. There's some people that depend on SNAP because they have people that are taken care of who are elderly or who have a mental disorder, like folks who may have children who are autistic,
Mm-hmm.
Asperger's syndrome, things of that nature. So I think there are some people out there who deserve or who needs the SNAP benefits. Um, but to your
That,
point, go ahead. I'm listening.
no, I'm about to just say that part I agree with. If
Mm,
you and like I said, I'm still echoing on your end. I don't know if you have the
okay.
stream up and not muted.
Nah. All right. Go ahead. Keep talking.
But I'll just say that how do I say it the right way? That part I agree with. If you have children or adults that you're taking care of that cannot physically work, okay, it's gone now. Cannot physically work. Oh no, it's not gone. Cannot physically work, and you need to take care of them. That's a cool way to help them out. But if you just have a bunch of kids and say it's cheaper to sit at home, well, I mean, you just got to find a better job. I hate to say it. It sounds really cruel and evil for me to say,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I guess to the what I'm thinking the administration is like, yo, we're not the welfare center where we just help everybody out. Because if we do that, we're gonna end up broke. I mean, that's kind of the reason, beyond a lot of other reasons, why we have such a big deficit now.
Yeah, I don't think the right answer is for people. It's not simple for people to just go get a job. It's not that simple for some. Now, there are some that are, I agree, are abusing the system or who may not need it as much. But at some point, somewhere, the system has determined certain checkpoints to say these people need these type of benefits.
Mhm.
It's just we don't know what that is. I mean, because like I said, when I was a kid, my mom was on food stamps at one point with my brother and and I didn't know. Apparently we didn't make a lot of money, so that's why we were on food stamps. But my mom was working, but she even with work, she wasn't making enough money to take care of us and to pay for the house. So she needed something else to supplement it to get us groceries, and so that's where the food stamps came in. So I think with this now, there are some people that need SNAP benefits because the job they have is not enough for them to get groceries or to offset some of the other costs. Now there are some people just like, and this is another topic, like unemployment. There are some people who get on unemployment and they'll stay on unemployment and don't look for a job because they say, why get off unemployment because I make more on unemployment than work at some of these jobs,
Right.
which I don't think that's what it's intended to do. So Charles Davis says, I don't believe the money you get for VA disability is worth it if you can get another job and work. Ooh.
He doesn't believe. Say again.
He said, I don't believe the money you get for VA disability is worth it if you can get another job and work. You had whatever was wrong with you in the military and you didn't get extra pay, so why now? Ooh. I don't believe that put in taken on Pete's point. Sadell Berry, what's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome. Charles Davis also said, Pete using the narrative that all people using Snap have a bunch of kids. Damn, Pete. Charles Davis says, Pete, you get VA disability?
No.
Okay. Dale, what's up, brother? Dale says, what's up, y'all? Fresh off of 12. Are y'all talking about the sorry Falcons yet? We're going to get to them in a minute. And then Jerry Valsi. Hopefully I pronounced your name, brother, correctly. Phenomenal dude, man. Great family. He says, I think you're trying to make a difference between a benefit, TA, and an entitlement, base pay. But I'm not smart enough on the topic to weigh in on one or another. Your thoughts?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think a benefit, if you're talking about military, is TA. TA is a benefit that you get handed to you for being a part of the military. Now, if they want to take it away, they take it away because it's just a benefit. And some people be like, I can't go to school. Oh, you sure can. You sure can. Nothing will stop you from going to school. Nothing at all. But what happens is people be like, oh, I got to spend my own money. I don't want to spend my own money. I want to spend what money I've been given. Well, that money's gone. And I hate to say it, but with anything else, and you know what? If I was in the same shoes, I'd probably have a moment of silence to kick and scream and be pissed off. But at the end of the day, you got to move on. Like you can't just sit in sorrow and help for people to help you out all the time. And if they want to take SNAP benefits away, will it suck? And is it? I think if we're saying is it the right or wrong thing to do, I don't think there is a right or wrong thing to do. If you are saying that money is going to be spent elsewhere to get us out the deficit, which it's not even a drop in the bucket about how much of a deficit we have, it's not even gonna help out the budget, the deficit at all. So I would just want to know, where is that extra money going? Because if I told you, to Charles Davis, if I say, okay, we're taking these SNAP benefits and we're going to put it into the defense bill, going to up minimum wage by 10%, but all SNAP benefits got to go. Now, would you do it? Now, would you say that's a good idea? Philly, that's kind of my question to you is, if they said we're taking, I think it's like $5 billion or $8 billion, and we'll be able to raise the minimum wage by 10% global or in the US. Now, would you say, okay, let's do it?
You mean eliminate SNAP or?
Yeah, eliminate SNAP, but that money is going to go to raise the minimum wage by 10% across the US.
No.
Damn. Serious.
Because here's my thing. Even if they raise minimum wage, I mean, that doesn't mean that's going to be enough for everybody to sustain a certain type of living. I mean, they've been raising the minimum wage for different increments over a certain amount of time.
That's because of inflation, but
correct. So even if you raise the minimum wage, you can't eliminate SNAP because you're going to still have problems with inflation. So when inflation happens again, what are you going to do? Increase the minimum wage again?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that simple. Yeah, I honestly don't. And
so,
then not only that, go ahead, I'm listening.
No, go ahead.
No, and then not only that, you've got some folks who, what jobs are going to be out there that's going to be able to provide that minimum wage? So let's say, I don't know, it's been a while since, I've been on the job market, but like somebody that works at McDonald's as a server, let's say they make, I don't know, $18 an hour. I'm sure that's too high, but let's say it's $18 an hour. Thanks, Charles. I'll get to your comment 1 second. They make $18 an hour, and then they increase it. You said $10 to $28, right?
No, 10%.
10%.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say $8, right? So it goes to what, public math? $26, right? So even with that may not be enough to give them the standard type of living they need in order to survive. Because you might take one person who is a single person that has no kids, no wife, they may be able to do it. And to your point earlier, I agree. If they were able to cut back on a couple of things, a little bit more smarter with their money, buy things that they can actually afford, they could probably do it. But what about the single mother with 3 kids that's got to pay for childcare, that's got to pay for gas or bus fare, that's got to pay for utilities? That still ain't enough money. Charles says, while SNAP provides money for food, it is not a personal allowance because the funds are restricted to food purchases and are provided by the government to meet a specific need, not as general spending money. I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know what, it's not to throw a humorous spin on this, but when I was a kid, I remember when we were on food stamps, it was, I won't say it was embarrassing. I'll just put it like this. You know how kids are back in the day. They knew who was the ones that were on food stamps.
Right.
And so back in the day, I know you don't know about this, but anyway, back in the day, they had the food stamps in a book.
Right.
And it was colored.
I do know. Yeah.
You were on food stamps?
No, but I've seen people on food stamps. But I've seen people on food stamps. I know what it looks like.
He ain't been in. He ain't been. Anyway, I'm sorry. All right, I digress. So, you never been to it. So here's when you go to the store and your mom gives you like 210 food coupons, food stamps,
Right.
and you go to the store, they will not take it unless you have the book.
Correct.
It was embarrassing. It was you come in there, you like, and they were like, "Where's the book?" You were like, "I don't have the book." Well, you can't buy. Like, I don't have the book.
Like you stole food stamps.
Yeah. Or the worst part is, I remember my mom sending me to the store, and she would tell, no, I'm sorry. Somebody would meet me at the store as I was a kid. They would give me, they say, "Hey, little man, you want to make some money?" They would give me $30 worth of food stamps. And they would say, "Go buy something for like $5 and then bring the rest of the money back." Because there was a way you could flip it to get cash back in the day. Charles Davis says, "Pete, your common approach without understanding the program, the history, and the why is off base, my brother. People who have not lived the struggle are the ones most likely to shit on the struggle." I'm sorry, my bad, ladies and gentlemen. Your
I'm
thoughts?
not trying. Not trying to ish on the struggle. Sure, the struggle is real. Not trying to say I've never been or not in the struggle. I can equate the struggle to probably the lifestyle that you claim you want to support. So some people, and I don't know the percentage, have just a struggle and are in the struggle, and it sucks. And I understand that. But this is why you have the no class, the low class, the middle class, and the upper class. Without those, the dominations of those, we wouldn't have the difference. Everybody, what's up, Thor? Everybody would just be the same. We don't have the same because people have different jobs, different skills. They get paid more. Do I think it's right for NBA players to get paid as much as they get paid? Probably not. They don't need all that, but that's the profession that they're in. So I think not understanding the program and what it's for, sure, I'll give you that. Don't really understand the program too much or what it's for. And I do understand that people rely on the snap to get by, and sure, good for them. It doesn't come out of my pocket, but if the government wants to stop it, they have the right and privilege to stop it. That's where I think the where I want to hit the nail on the head. If somebody who's giving you this money, it's just like being an employee. If your employer wants to give you a raise, they give you a raise. If they don't, they won't. If they want to, lay you off, they'll lay you off. So if you're relying on these benefits from an employer, meaning the United States government, and they don't want to give it to you no more, what are you going to say? It's just like if you know what, if I worked at a regular job and that was my job and I get fired or lay off, sure, I'm gonna kick and scream and be pissed off. This is crazy. How am I going to support my family? It all goes back to the same thing. But what you got to do is figure out how to get through it. I don't know how else to describe it better. I don't know if that makes sense, if that makes no sense, or
It does,
what.
but
You just can't say it.
No, Charles Davis says, "You're not trying, but you are. Stop, Pete. Ain't nobody stunting on damn food stamps. You a wild dude." Here's my thing. I'm not saying what you're saying is entirely wrong, but I have to admit, it sounds like something from, it's unrealistic. It's not that simple. It's almost like, it's almost like when you do something, like if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, how do you save $1,000?" For somebody who's been doing it for so long and has the means of doing it, it's easy for them to say, "Are you crazy?" It's easy. Just put it in the bank. Don't spend it. To somebody who's never done something like that, and it takes them they have to change their mindset, the way they think about money. It takes time, and it's not as easy. No different for someone who can save $1,000 and someone who saves $50,000. You might be like, "Yo, I can't save $50,000 because I can't make that much. I've never made that much. I've got all these bills." And somebody at $50,000, like, it's easy. Don't just go invest this, invest this. I never invest. I just save money at a savings account. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
No, yeah.
almost this. Go ahead, I'm listening.
No, I'm agreeing with you. You're about to say something else.
So it's the same thing. It's for folks. They are there are people out there who can do it, but I argue there are two different types. You have those people who can, no, three types. I'm sorry. Those people who can, those people who won't, and those people who want to, but they don't have the means to. I think you have that. Charles Davis says how he's saying it is entirely wrong. You mean Pete?
Of
I
course,
think.
that's what he means. Of course, that's
Okay.
what he means. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a time. I think I agree with you. There are like if you had this, like before you came in the military, right? We all didn't have a lot of money, and even while we're in the military, we didn't have a lot of money. And there was a point where you had to start saving and investing money, and two things happen: either your lifestyle changes or your paycheck changes, right? So those are usually the two things that happen. So you are going to have to figure out which one you want to change. It's just like if we stopped getting paid today, there would be like 6 or 8 months where I would be okay. But after that, I would have to figure something out. And that means sell my house and get a smaller house, go move into an apartment for a while, go move into a friend's house, get rid of my car. And now either I have to get a car that's paid off or a low maintenance car or take a dang bus. There are options. I'm not saying any of this is permanent. Just like I don't think anybody's saying Snap should be permanent. If somebody's on Snap for 18 years, I feel like something is dreadfully wrong with their lifestyle. They have took this benefit and relied on it to support them for life. And that is not a good thing. I don't think Snap, just like you said, unemployment is supposed to be there forever. So you are going to have to figure out, hey, while I have these benefits, it's not the time to sit back, relax, kick my feet up, and rest on my laurels. It's my time to grind and be able to grind. Now it sucks that they're being taken. Somebody must have said a comment. Go ahead. I'll let you get to it.
Charles says, Pete, stop taking those stars and subscriptions. They are supplemental assistance to keep the show going.
And the show still goes whether we get them or not. And you're 100% right. And if I would have, I don't know what's so funny.
Because it's your response is funny. He meant it as a joke. Anyway, I'll say this, and then we can put a bow on it, and then we can move on. I think ultimately, like I said, it's always easy for someone who's not in the hole to say it's easy.
True.
It's always that way, and I think because the way America is set up, you will always have or need some type of program for assistance for people. It is unrealistic to think every single American can get up to a certain standard of living where they would never need SNAP benefits or something to that equivalent to. It's almost nearly the only way you would do that is to have a system that is fair for everyone, and it is
Right.
not.
It's not. You're right.
It is not. I mean, for the simple fact, I mean, you take taxes. You got folks paying taxes that's got the IRS in their back pocket, but you got people who are rich. They ain't paying taxes or not enough of the taxes they're paying. I love my country, but there is so many things about this country that is not equal for folks. And
The
because of
crazy
that,
thing you talk about equal, it actually is. It's just that finding the information. People don't want to see how to not pay taxes because they're not interested in it. And most people for a long time were getting paid back from the government. So they were like, hey, I'll just keep doing what I do. Well, there reaches a point in your life where you stop getting paid back from the government and you pay the government. You can figure out, just like you have chat GTP and everything else, you can go talk to somebody. You could call a tax attorney if you want to. You might have to pay some money to figure out, hey, how do I stop paying taxes? It's just a fact of, do you really want to? Is it worth your time, money, and effort to want to do it? Same thing with getting off SNAP benefits. Same thing with saving $1,000. Is it worth your time, energy, and money to want to do it? The information's out there. But, sorry, we can find information on anything we want to. Anything. There is too many platforms out there and now it's, everybody has a smartphone, everybody has a friend, everybody has a way to find information. It's just, is it worth your time, energy, and money? Let's look at you for this show. How much time, energy, and money did it take for you to figure out how to do OBS?
Is that a rhetorical question? Are you asking me?
You don't have to tell me exactly, but I know it took time, it took energy, and it probably took money to figure out how to do it. Just like how to start a podcast. It takes time, energy, and money how to figure it out. Not only that, it takes time, energy, and money to sustain it. We've been doing this for 5 years. That takes time, energy, and money that nobody else sees. And that's why we always say if you can support because we would like the help. Same thing with it, just like Charles Davis says, like a SNAP benefit. We would appreciate the help. But if you don't give it to us, we're still going to keep the show moving as much as possible, as long as possible.
Yeah, I don't think those. I mean, I feel you about the information part. I can't dispute that, but I firstly don't think this equals or relates to the topic at hand because again, you can do all the research you want, but the fact of the matter is, if you're based on your current living situation, you've got people out there with degrees, with folks that they're living with that are medically disabled or they've got multiple children and they got student loans, they're trying to go to school to get a better education, to get a better job, and they can't find a job. So there are people out there who are doing the work to do the research, but that doesn't change their situation right away. It takes time. If you're saying, hey, people, if you're so invested in getting out of the situation to do the work, then I agree with you. I think SNAP should be temporary. But what is the time? What does time mean in temporary? Charles Davis's last point, Peter's absolutely 100. At least we know we're here where he's coming from, albeit I have no idea what he be on sometimes. Pete said you can find out information, but he doesn't know the history on Snap. Damn, bro, you stay wilding on here.
Just like I said, I don't know if
your mic too low. Just turn up just a little bit more.
All right, how about now?
A little bit more.
How about now?
Okay, now good.
All right, just like I said, I don't have the mental fortitude, or I didn't, to put the time, energy, and money in looking for the history of Snap. Here's a test. Here's what we'll do. Go ahead. You can go ahead. But I'm going to figure out how long it would take me to look up the history on Snap.
While he's doing that, y'all stay tuned. We're going to go over our weekly picks for the NFL. I know the game's going to be starting here in a little bit. Thank the Lord, the Eagles are now playing this week. That means it's a dub for us. Go Birds. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we get Myles Garrett, so that's kind of an L, but it is what it is.
Myles Garrett's going somewhere? Oh, here we go. I know the history of SNAP. SNAP is a federal program that helps low incomes, blah, 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 blah. How much do you get? The amount of SNAP requires on household size, income, and expenses where you live. For example, in 2025, a single adult might receive around $200 to $300 a month. A family of four might receive $700 to $900 a month. How it's used, extra benefits. So that's how quickly you can find out information. That's how quickly.
Let me say that. Now, I know I said we was gonna put a bonus, but I just want to just say this, and then we can move on.
Yes, sir.
This is the think of it this way. Remember when the Air Force was doing a lot of deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan, and then you have folks that were in combat situations. Hey, I would say myself, yourself,
right?
And we were getting rocketed, we were getting mortared and stuff,
right,
going outside the wire. And then it was time for us to transition out. What medal did we get? We got maybe, if we were NCO, Air Force Commendation Medal, maybe we were lucky an Army Commendation Medal. If you was a Mass Sergeant, we would get an MSM, right?
Right.
But then you had this mass rush of people getting Bronze Star medals.
Right.
And some of them wasn't even involved in the same stuff we were doing. They were on the FOB, but because a couple of rockets flew over their building, they got a Bronze Star. And let's be honest, there was a lot of officers. They was getting them like candy.
Candy, yep.
Speaking for myself, I was like, that's no fair. How come they get a Bronze Star? We only got MSM. But to your point, it's almost like you're saying, well, if we take your home philosophy about what you just said, you can do the homework and research it. You can look it up. Well, how did you get a Bronze Star? This is how you put it in, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I could have done that. But does that make it right that they got one or I didn't get one? That's a total different story, in my opinion.
Yeah, good point. I
So
mean,
going
it's a
back
good
to the
point.
Snap piece, yeah, they can look up all they want, how much Snap costs, how much I needed to make in order to not having to need Snap benefits or government assistance. That's the homework. But that doesn't mean that equates to them not needing it or being able to get off of it. Charles says Pete got cliff notes and now he passing on that he know the history. Ha ha ha. That is not research, bro. That is that AMU degree effort.
That's true.
Damn,
That's true.
bro.
That's very true.
Dang, what's up with that?
That's very true. Otherwise, he's an AMU hater. But I don't know what you want. I mean, I don't know what you want. If you ask me a question about Snap, I can find it.
Mm.
What do you want me? You know what equates to history? If I tell you the history of the NBA, does that mean I have to go back to when James Naismith invented basketball? Does that mean I go back to when Jordan came in? Does that mean I go back to when the first champion, the ABA? What does the history actually mean? So
Yeah,
history is very relevant to what somebody else wants to say.
yeah,
If you tell me exactly, hey, go back to the beginning of Snap and figure out, okay, I can do that. You just said the history.
yeah.
All right. Anyway, love you, Charles Davis. Love you, Charles Davis. Love the comments and
Yeah,
all the banter as well. Never
abs-
shy away from it.
absolutely. And yeah, my bad about the Commanders. I'm sorry about that, man. Pour out some stuff for y'all, Commanders. So moving on, NFL week. I believe we're at week 9 now.
Can I say one thing before we do the
Yeah,
last
of
NFL
course.
thing?
Yeah.
Did you hear about airman who covered up the M18 shooting? Came out yesterday.
I did see something, a clipping about that. I thought he was already charged for like murder anyway. He was pointing a gun at somebody's chest or
Yeah,
something,
he
right?
he actually was found dead in his dormitory.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did hear
Yeah,
that. You care to
yeah. So
expound
But
on that?
I'm just reading this off of hey, like Charles Davis said, doing my research off the Air and Space Force magazine. His name was Airman First Class Marcus White Allen. They said he covered up the firing of the M18 pistol that he shot into Brendan. I think it's Brendan Loveland's chest, and then two F.E. Warren airmen also covered up the story. I'm not going to pronounce this person's name, is Bradshaw, and Rodriguez pled guilty on the 31st to covering up or lying. Meanwhile, White Allen became the prime suspect in what at first seemed to be an accidental death and was arrested early August. On October 8th, he was found dead in his dormitory. When they had the summary court martial on the 30th and 31st, it came out the two airmen lied. They said that when it happened, Airman White said, "Hey, just tell everybody I took my gun holster off and the pistol went off. People will believe it because the M18 has been having a lot of problems."
Mm.
So one of the airmen was reduced to E1 and fined $1,500 and was sentenced to 10 days in confinement, 15 days restricted duty. The other
Damn.
airman, yeah, the other airman got 30 days of confinement, was reduced to E2 and fined $500 for falsifying state. So
Damn. So
here's my question to you. You were a chief, still kind of are. If this happened in your unit, would you address the unit and what would you say? Or would you just let
you
it
mean as
die?
far as the passing of the airman?
Well, the passing of the airman, how would you handle that? The situation, I mean, it just came out yesterday. How would you handle those? How would you suggest if you were going to give advice?
And before I respond, I just want to be clear, make sure I understand. The airman that passed away, was it suicide?
It doesn't say. They said they're still looking into how he died.
Okay. Okay. So in that case, I would be vague with the details about the airman that passed away. I would, say he passed away, but I don't know how he did, because there are two different approaches to address that. Um, in my time serving, I've had commanders I worked for who weren't a fan of having memorials or things like that for airmen who committed suicide. They felt like it was like publicizing it or giving them attention that they didn't deserve. I never agree with that. I think whether you pass by accident, by accident, normal causes, or suicide, it's still a loss, and it should be addressed. And you should be the unit still feels the effect of it. So I would address that. But as far as the incident with the weapon, first I would the number one thing is address the weapon safety. That's the most important thing. Number two, I would address the, and I know it's cliche, but I would address the importance of the badge and beret they're wearing about integrity, about what happens when you make a mistake and you lie or you try to falsify documents, same thing, and then the consequences when they found out. When this incident happened, when I was working at my last job, do you know how much thrash it went through? Number one, the airman that was shot lost a life. Then I can imagine the parents, they was thinking, we let our son go into an institution and now he's gone. So then you have that piece. And then you have the next piece. It was due to what was perceived as a weapons malfunction.
Mhm.
And so makes perfect sense. The Global Strike Commander shut down all operations of the pistols. That means don't know how many, I can't remember how many defenders are at Global Strike or at that base, but they could not carry that pistol until they did the investigation. And it almost caused the career field, or at least it caused the career field to think whether to continue using that pistol. And then now, fast forward to this point, you find out it wasn't the pistol's fault. It wasn't a malfunction of the pistol. It was an airman that made a mistake or I guess you can call it a mistake, just bad weapons procedures, negligent discharge or something. And then you had two other airmen who tried to assist him in covering it up. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it sounds like.
I would definitely address that one. I would address the weapons. I would address the importance of weapon safety. And I would address to them the fact of, and I know it's going to sound cliche, but the core values, service before self, integrity, excellence in all we do, key piece integrity is profoundly important, not just as a military member, but as a defender. When you fail to uphold integrity, not only does it cause a dark cloud over you, but an entire unit, the career field, and the Air Force in general. I can't imagine what this airman's parents, that the one who was shot, what they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking it's a weapons discharge, malfunction. Then they found out it was a bunch of cover-ups. Shout out to the investigators for uncovering all this. But anyway, I'll pause there. I'm getting a little bit heated.
No, I think it's an interesting story, and it just tells you that the Air Force and the military, and no matter where you work at, is just a microcosm of where you come from and people in the world. People in the world will lie, cheat, steal, kill, uh, to cover up some situations. Depending, I think it's interesting that in the statement they made, uh, immediately after the shooting, the Air Force statement says, White Allen, who's the person who shot, told one of the other airmen, here's the story. Tell them I slammed my duty belt to the desk and it went off. Rodriguez testified that White Allen separately told him to tell emergency personnel arriving on scene that White Allen's holster went off. So it's interesting that if somebody told me that, I'd be like, bro, I ain't saying that shit. Like, I'm sorry. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not saying nothing at all, or I'm telling them what I saw. Like, I ain't finna cover that. Like, what the hell I look like? That's kind of crazy. One, to put an airman in that situation, or a fellow airman in that situation. Two, for them to follow it. I don't know what kind of charisma this White Allen person had, but that's kind of crazy. That is really wild. To your point, I think it's hard for not only security forces as a whole, but now to go back and be like, flight sergeants, y'all need to talk about weapon safety. I'm like, bro, we do this every freaking day. Like, people are gonna listen to whatever they want to listen to, and he just made a bad judgment. Should you address it? Yes. Honing in on something, is that really gonna hit home? It could. and there's no harm in foul doing it. So I don't disagree. Do you feel like that's an enlisted responsibility of the commander or both?
Both,
Mm,
both. I think if I was a commander, I would be the first. That would be the first order of business to address that. And maybe he did. I don't. Not saying he didn't. He probably did. But I never understood how. Uh, Comment from Charles Davis. Wouldn't have there been gun residue on his hands and none on the holster?
mm,
Interesting point. Perhaps, maybe. Good point.
mm, mm,
But it is never. I hate when they always say this is an enlisted issue or it's the first sergeant's issue or the chief's issue. If it commanders get paid to be commanders, and again, there was a member in his unit that, as a commander, I can't imagine. You have a member in your unit, a young airman who died because of a gunshot wound, and it was for nothing on duty, as far as like being engaged in his duties. As far as it was at a clearing barrel.
well, no, no, no. They said
I'm
that.
sorry, not a clearing barrel. What was that?
Yeah, it was at the guard mount room, I
Okay,
guess,
I'm
or
sorry. Well, guard my room or whatever. I'm sorry. So in other words, he wasn't on patrol.
no, it's
He
either
wasn't
right
getting
after or
shot at
before.
a criminal
No.
or a terrorist or a combatant from a nefarious country. He was with fellow defenders, his brothers and sisters, and he lost his life.
Mm-hmm.
And as a commander, you lose that person. Then you have three. One who's the principal that says it was the issue of a weapon. And now you've got two other people involved that kind of, joined in on the story. And then you have a MAGCOM commander that decides, hey, to be safe, which I applaud, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
stop usage of this weapon across the enterprise. Not across the enterprise, I'm sorry, across Global Strike. And you think about it, this is Global Strike Command where they protect the most important weapons in the U.S. arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the most defenders out of every command in the Air Force. Now they don't have a secondary weapon outside of a ASP or OCP or ASP, OCP. I know I'm missing some. Or a taser, right? If they're carrying the taser. And then now you got to explain to the fallen airman's parents, give condolences. Hey, we're going to investigate what happened. Of course, the parents grieving. They're like, what happened? What could have caused this? Whatever. And they're probably, maybe they're thinking, if I was a parent and I was in that position, I'd be thinking, why are we still using this weapon? Why did they use this weapon if they had issues, whatever? And then you think about the gun manufacturer, they're like, yo, ain't nothing wrong with the weapon. Like,
Right.
all kinds of things I don't know about. I'm just speculating. And then fast forward to now, when all the thing comes out in the wash to find out it was a cover-up or a supposed cover-up, and then the person who is the principal suspect is now dead, and you have two other airmen who were involved as well, being charged of falsifying official documents, and pretty much their career is over. Charles Davis says, have either of you witnessed or been involved with an unsafe gun handling incident on duty, and how did you handle it? Yes, I have. I won't mention his name, but it's a good friend of mine. Y'all know who he is. He was an armorer. It was an unfortunate thing that happened to him. I won't mention his name or base, but anyway, a gun went off. It hit a glass display, and he was charged. He ended up losing the stripe over it.
Mm-hmm.
And how I would handle this, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It's almost like when people say, I wasn't the one drinking and driving. Why are you talking to me? It doesn't matter. You don't say, all right, well, we had one drinking and driving airman, and just leave it alone. You address everybody. Because, yes, you may not do it. You may not do it. You may not do it. But what is the harm in addressing the whole?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure some people may think, well, you have one make a mistake, you punish the whole. I don't look at it as punishment. I look at it as a cautionary tale. And I'll say this now, Paul, because I'm rambling. back to these two airmen that were charged that now their career's over. This is a cautionary tale of when you make a mistake and you try to cover it up, or even more importantly, you weren't the one that made the mistake. But because for whatever reason, whoever this person was that convinced them to lie, now they're paying the price for it.
Hmm. Well said.
Okay. Week 9. Yes, week 9. I know the games are going on right now. Some folks have scored. I haven't looked at the scores yet. Chicago and Cincinnati. Cincinnati at home.
Chicago.
Minnesota. Oh, I didn't make my pick. I'm going to go with Chicago.
Yeah.
I think they'll get out the schneid. Minnesota at Detroit.
Detroit.
Easy one, Detroit, yeah.
Not easy, but yeah.
Man. Carson
Oh,
Wentz,
okay.
he's gone. I think
Walking
he's
to
out.
him with
Huh?
walking to him with.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Carson Wentz, man. He cannot catch a break. I think his career is over, man.
Your ticker just said it's 7-7 right now.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Still early. Carolina at Green Bay. Green Bay's at home.
Oh, man, I want to go with Green Bay, but God, I'll go with Green Bay. They're not gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna.
You actually think Carolina has a chance to beat them?
I guess they can keep it close and figure out what happens, but yeah, I'll go with Green Bay at home. Yeah, I'll give it to Green Bay.
Yeah, definitely Green Bay. We play Green Bay next week too. That's gonna be a good one. The Chargers at Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Really? Over the Chargers?
Yeah. Yes.
Why?
Yes. Ward is not that bad. And Chargers are not. Harbaugh is getting fired. Harbaugh is gone.
Really?
Because it's just supposed to be the Chargers' year. They're supposed to take over the division. Blah 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 blah. Man, Harbaugh is gone. Both Harbaughs might be gone, but definitely this one is gone.
But isn't this the second or third season?
What do you mean second, third season? What?
Coaching John Harbaugh.
Something like that, maybe third season. But they spent all this money on Herbert, talking about how good he is, and he hasn't panned out to be nothing. So either it's Herbert or it's the coach. You know they're going to blame the coach before they blame the quarterback.
Yeah, I think they paid too much money for Jim Harbaugh, right? Jim Harbaugh, the Chargers, for him to come in, and things happen, man. I mean, I think he has the right pedigree that they're not going to give up on him this season. I doubt that. But anyway, I think the Chargers are going to beat Tennessee. They're a better team, just having some rough time. San Francisco at Jackson Dart and the Giants. Giants are at home.
I'll ride with Dart. No,
really?
they just lost their running back. They just let me reverse that. I'm gonna ride with San Francisco. They've been playing good. San Francisco been playing good. CMC has been
even with Scadaboo being gone and Purdy not playing, you still got Mac Jones playing. San Francisco, man, the Giants are in a tailspin. When they lost Scadaboo and when the Eagles kicked the living snot out of them, I think it took a lot of wind out of their sails. Big game here. You got the Colts versus the Steelers. Steelers at home.
Colts, ride with them. Not gonna get off the train. Stay with the hot hand.
A lot of folks think the Colts are the best team in the NFL. Do you
agree
with that?
Top 3, top 2 or 3. KC is making a fight. New England is still, or not New England. Philly is still there. So top 3.
Charles says, DC, what is the latest word on the Eagles and Myles Garrett? Last thing I read this morning on CD was that Myles Garrett is a bust, man. Like the Browns are not giving him up. They're going to stand by their commitment and keep their best player they have.
All that money, you might as well.
Bro, we was willing to give up 3 first-round draft picks for
I get it.
So that's very disappointing. I was hoping that Howie was going to do it, but somebody got in the Browns' ears like, do not let your best player go.
Right.
So I personally think they should. I think
of course,
Myles Garrett is suffering. You know how long it's going to take for the Browns to be competitive?
Oh,
They're
never.
the laughing stock of the NFL next to the Jets.
And Miami, but yeah.
Yeah, and Miami. Yeah. Okay, moving on. I agree. Colts over the Steelers. Although I hope the Steelers win, but they're not going to beat the Colts. Steelers are having a kind of a little bit of a tailspin. I think somebody mentioned the other day, the Steelers are reminding us who they really are.
Mm, good point.
The Steelers. All right, Denver Broncos versus the Houston Texans. Houston's at home. This is a good game.
Yeah, it is a good game. It's a tough game to figure out. I will ride with Denver after what the smacking they put on the Cowboys. So I'll ride with Denver and Bo Nix 4 touchdowns.
You know what, man? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you mentioned that. I apologize. I have been off my grind. This would have been a perfect opportunity to roast the Cowgirls. All this nonsense about the Cowboys being the best offense in the league. Could the Cowboys make the playoffs? Can we stop this nonsense now?
All right.
Please?
Well,
Like, we go through this every year.
when they win next week, they'll be back on it.
You know what infuriates me? And we talked about this before. The freaking Cowboys are on prime time again on Monday night. Why?
Tonight? This Monday? They don't play this
they're
week.
playing Arizona.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Why?
That's
Why?
the Cowboys.
Why?
The Cowboys.
You know, it's like Charles Barkley said. We are sanctioned on our contract to talk about the Cowboys at least once a show.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Yeah.
Friggin' Cowboys. Okay, moving on. Late night games, all 4:00 games.
Hey, you forgot about New England, Atlanta. What schedule you looking at?
I did forget about Atlanta. Don't matter anyway.
Okay.
Atlanta and New England.
New
Patriots
England.
at home.
New England.
There you
I'll
go.
go.
There you
Yeah.
That's my case.
Yeah.
What's going on with Atlanta? I thought they was on the uptick.
Man, we can't figure out our quarterback. We can't. It's the OC. It got to be the OC. Man, Bijan Mustard should be getting the ball like Jonathan Taylor getting the ball. He should be doing 3 touchdowns. But I mean, Indianapolis's front line is a lot better than Atlanta's front line. So we're in rebuilding.
Charles says, I like Shador, but he is in a fail situation with that franchise.
Yep, good point.
You know, did you hear that the Eagles was actually considering picking him up, and Shador said no because he didn't want to play behind Jalen Hurts? Did you hear that?
No, was this before he got drafted?
This is before he got drafted.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say that's crazy as hell if he said that recently. I bet you changed his mind now.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I want to get off topic. I just want to bring this up quickly. I always thought to myself, am I wrong to think people from college that get drafted should be honored to play in the NFL and shouldn't give 2 ducks where they go?
Yes. But that's coming from somebody who will never make the NFL. So yes. But yes.
Damn, why you gotta put it like that, man?
I'll never make the NFL.
Up,
what you mean?
Man, why you putting limits on me, man? I could make it
no,
if I wanted to.
I said me. I will never make the NFL.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. I took that personally. Okay, moving on. Jacksonville and Las Vegas at 4:00. Raiders are at home.
Dumb game. It's a pick 'em because they both are trash. But I'll go with the better quarterback. Gino's up and down. I'll go with the better quarterback.
You're going to go with the Raiders?
No. I'm going with Jacksonville.
Oh, okay.
The better quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence. Is it me or are you shocked at how bad the Raiders are this year? I thought Pete Carroll had something squared away, with getting Genty?
Yeah.
He got Geno Smith.
Geno Smith. Come on now. Geno Smith.
He was good with Seattle.
Serviceable, but not good. They don't. I mean,
serviceable.
They don't really have a wide receiver to throw to. Their wide receiver tandem is putrid at best, and then their tight end, who was all world last year, is not even there anymore. I mean, he's there, but he's not as good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go with Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville as well. New Orleans at the LA Rams.
Rams.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Rams. Yeah. Nothing more to say about that. I think Puka's back this week, I think.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Still the Rams.
And the headliner of the week, the Chiefs versus the Bills, Buffalo at home.
I'm going hot with the high hand. Chiefs got everybody back rolling. They look really good. Their defense is not as good, but still really good. So I'm going to ride with the high hand. I don't remember who Buffalo played last week.
Actually, Buffalo played the Panthers, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I'll go with KC.
Yeah,
KC is just
they killed the Panthers last week, 40-9.
But it always seems like Buffalo wins in the regular season and lose in the playoffs. That's what it
Charles,
always feels like.
Charles Davis says Eagles might go after Crosby from the Raiders now. I hope so, brother. I really
That
think we
would
need
be
the edge ruster bad.
crazy.
Because Max Crosby is a beast, man. He's not Miles Garrett, but he's close. He's good.
Oh, right on his heels.
And Dell Brown, you would like this one. Dell says, my homeboy.
My homeboy.
Where'd you
My
get
home
this my homeboy thing from?
Shannon Sharp.
Uh,
Same thing with walking to him Wentz.
Off topic, my wife and I was having a discussion about Shannon Sharp. Do you think if what had happened to him with the OnlyFans incident, do you think he would have been just as good or eclipsed Stephen A. Smith?
No, no,
No,
no,
really.
no,
You
no,
don't think he
no.
had the potential?
Like
Really?
maybe once Stephen A. Smith stops, but no, 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 no. Stephen
Really?
A. Smith is on such a different level, and people hate on him a lot. But that dude does everything,
Do you think
every,
he's good at
and he does
everything?
it well. I was about to say, and he does it well. The only thing he didn't do well, which they took him off really quick, was UFC. Everything
Mm.
else he does well. The research this man must put in is got to be crazy. I don't know if he has people that give him information, if he finds information, don't know, but he has never been off kilter. The stuff he might say might be crazy, but that's everybody. That's everybody in that industry. He has some bias as well. But the amount of research he does, I don't even care about the word choices he uses, but the amount of research how he does it is very, very good. He is
Uh,
nobody to play with.
uh,
And
do
he
you
has his own brand with, just like Shannon Sharp does, but his own successful brand and everything.
you think he's a little arrogant?
I would be too.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think that's what adds to his popularity, his arrogance?
Yeah, both hate and popularity. Yes.
Dell says, nah, Stephen A. Smith got years on him to catch up.
Right. Right.
Charles Davis says Bills in regular season.
Okay.
Okay, so you said you're taking the Chiefs. I agree with you. I'll take the Chiefs. The Chiefs is, man, talk about the revenge of the Chiefs. But that's cool.
Mm.
We want the Chiefs to win anyway, so we can play them again in the Super Bowl and kick the snot out of them again. So,
Yeah.
anyway, Chiefs over the Bills. And then maybe all this nonsense talk about the Bills will stop. Moving on, Seattle Seahawks at the Washington broke Commanders.
Or Commanders,
Washington went
man.
home. Yeah, I
Or
know,
Commanders.
man. Do
Or
you think it's the
Commanders.
curse of the sophomore season, like Robert Griffin for Jaden Daniels?
Man, I didn't think that's a great analogy to put together. Uh, maybe I don't know. Not the Madden curse, so I don't. I don't know what it is.
They can't catch a break, man.
Can't catch a break. They got Debo and then McLaurin with this off-season stuff, and now Daniels. It's just like they had a great offense that just went to because of injuries.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. There was a lot of people was picking them to potentially go to the NFC Championship this year.
I wasn't picking them over the Eagles, but I thought
Oh
they would
no,
be. Yeah, I thought they would be in the playoffs. I didn't think they. I think the Giants have no. Giants don't have better record. Don't they have
oh
the same
no,
record?
no. I think.
Yeah.
Let me look at it real quick. I think they're all tied at 3 games.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the Giants has got 2 games. Dallas
Okay.
and Washington at 3 games apiece.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I didn't. And then the Eagles will got what 4, 5,
Yeah, we're 6-2.
6. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're
Mm-hmm.
just running away from with the
Yeah, we're
division.
running away from these
Yeah.
dirtbags. But Jaden Daniels is like one of those quarterbacks that was getting into the same class as Josh Allen, Patrick
Oh,
Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. Meaning, and what I mean by that is the NFL loves him, and they
yes.
were looking, they were putting this dude. Not saying he's not good, he's good, but for one season, I mean, you can see how many games prime time they were giving Washington.
Yep. Just like he was
Now,
like on the Jordan Love treatment,
yeah,
and he's just injuries, man. I mean, injuries
yeah.
part of the game, but yeah, it sucks. Suck.
Charles Davis says, "Poor Commanders, my, we peaked too early and we still alright." He also says injuries not due to incompetence like the Falcons' offense. Whoa.
Yeah. All right. Hey, that's the first right thing he said in 2 hours. It is incompetence why we cannot win. Incompetent. We blow leads. We can't hold leads. We can't get a lead. And then it's like, yo, get the ball to Mustard. What are we doing? Get the ball to Mustard. That's all we need to do. Kyle Pitts is a bust. London is good. He's serviceable. But get the ball to we run through Mustard. Get the ball to Bijan.
You,
All right,
yeah,
that's it.
you, yeah. You, I can't remember the last time you actually went on a rant and you agreed that the Atlanta Falcons has got some issues like this.
No, we it's either the head coach or the OC. Gotta be. Because we got good personnel. It's not horrible. There's many teams with better records who got worse personnel.
Mm.
And it's not like we're playing the cream of the crop. It ain't like we have a lineup like Philadelphia has. Like Philadelphia probably has the worst thing luck ever with who they're playing. It's not like we have a horrible schedule.
Mm.
What? What's he looking like that for?
You said Philadelphia's got the worst luck. What do you mean?
With the schedule, with who they're playing against.
Man, we're playing like the best of the best. We're going through the
That's
gauntlet.
what that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's
Oh,
not like
okay.
Atlanta has the same schedule.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Track.
Goodness. And our division sucks. We got Carolina and New Orleans in our division.
I know. Like, what is the deal?
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Y'all,
it's bad.
matter of fact, let me see. Who is who is in the lead in y'all division? Dang near. Oh, the Bucks.
Okay.
Y'all got the
Yeah, yeah.
Bucks.
Yeah, that's what I left them
The
out.
Bucks.
That's why I left them
I
out.
thought y'all was gonna be able to compete with them this year, but
I thought so too. At least 8-8. Goodness gracious.
yeah.
Anyway,
All right, and then the last game, Arizona at Dallas. Much as I hate to
Dallas.
admit Dallas is gonna win, I hope they lose. I hate to. I want Arizona to win so bad to put them away for good. There are still a bunch of cowgirl believers out there that's holding on to a dear thread that the cowgirls will pull it out and turn around. Bruh, cowgirls fans, I'm looking at you. Look at me. Look into my eyes. You are 3 games behind. Not only that, you got a friggin' tie, man. Y'all suck. Y'all's garbage, man. Y'all don't think, get me wrong. I'm sorry. Let me say, y'all offense is good. It's good. It's good. But as a team, y'all trash. And please stop with this y'all going to the Super Bowl stuff. It's starting to get pathetic, man. Every year. Anyway, my rant is over. So there you have it. Well, there you have it. We're on. Charles Davis made a couple of comments before we go. Charles Davis says, no cap. Drake May, same draft class as JD is looking good. Man, I forgot to even talk about Drake May. New England is hot. Like, everybody's talking about New England. And no, they're not getting A.J. Brown. We're not giving them A.J. Brown. Dell says, haven't been the same since Tom Brady came back and coached Shaw from 28 to 3.
That one hurt.
Yes.
That one been hurting for 5 years.
Oh, here's a double down. Charles Davis says, Falcons ain't been the same since Eugene Robinson got caught in the strip club the night before the Super Bowl during the Dirty Bird era. Didn't know about that.
Hey, I was in the 90s.
That's how y'all do? Go to the strip club, huh?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah,
Atlanta.
that's why y'all, something wrong with y'all.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank y'all for joining us. We'll leave the last word for Pete. Thoughts, comments?
Well, that's where, like Philly said, we'll be back on more often. We'll have to either put out a note or something to let y'all know when we're coming on. Maybe that will help with the viewership. But we appreciate the ones that do view and come on live and then come back and watch it later.
Right. The hardcore. We'll call y'all the hardcore UPCs who show up every single time. Salute. We appreciate y'all. Unpopular celebrities, y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. And as always, go Birds.